things that we're working on. Now I'd like to invite two guest speakers to come up, Martin Seibert and Vinicius Pinheiro. You guys can come on up.
So my name is Vinicius Pinheiro, and I'm from Brazil. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really proud to help Atlassian in Brazil also. In fact, I'm a kind of a personal fan, not just of Atlassian products, but Atlassian culture also. And when I'd like to thanks for the invitation. And when Todd called me and asked to be here, I was a little bit afraid because I was here last year, and we have here a really sophisticated audience. And I thought, oh, what I can do here. In fact, I talked to several guys, and we have several amazing partners here. And I decided just to put here some information about what we have been doing in Brazil. And it's a pleasure to me to do that. And as a beginning, I will just give a little bit more information about the core. I don't know how much you know about our company. And I'm one of the founders and partner of the company. And in fact, we are a 12 years old company, and we have about 110 people, not just in Brazil. We have a subsidiary here in US, in New York, more specifically. And we've been using Jira internally since 2004. And 2006, a lot of other customers start to ask about the product, and we decided to become a partner. That's the idea at that time. And since that, we've been doing business with several companies. I will present some information in the next slide. And just a little bit more information. We are in Porto Alegre. It's the capital of the southest state of Brazil. In fact, we are open another office in São Paulo, and that would be focused just in Atlassian business. And we are a semi company, and we, in fact, have been part of the most among the best companies to work in Brazil in the last 3 years. We, in fact, invest a lot around that. Another information, we have just become a premier partner, and that's an important thing for us also. And as a general information, we work in offshore, provide some American companies with some offshore services. It's about 50% of our business. So we provide here in the US some services from Brazil that, in fact, it's a really convenient place because of the time zone, and we have really competitive price for good technical people in there. So we have some clients here in the US and also other customers that we have around the world in this kind of business. Around Atlassian business, in fact, we had a chance to provide some big companies with interesting projects. For example, Petrobras is the biggest company in Brazil and is one of Atlassian customers and one of the eCore customers also. Odebrecht, that's the biggest construction company in Brazil, and Pão de Açúcar, the largest retailer in Brazil. So it's just a few examples of services that we've been providing in not just Jira, but Confluence and Greenhoppers and other Atlassian tools. So this year we expect to increase our sales in about 45%. And our sales have increased on average 81% per year in the last 3 years. So when we first started this partnership, it wasn't something really important for us at that time. It's something more about, okay, let's provide this kind of interesting product and service for some clients. But in the way we start to realize that Atlassian was a really huge opportunity for us. So we start to invest more, and I will give some information about what we've been doing. So we start to invest more, and we start to become better results. And we are really happy about this partnership with Atlassian Brazil. So one of, I think, was one of the most important things. We start to separate this area in our company as a kind of separated business. So we have like a dedicated commercial team. We have a dedicated technical team that is specialized in just Atlassian products. And I think at the beginning we start to struggle a little because we have several services. We have people that share their time in Atlassian campaigns and other products campaigns. And we have people, technical people that also share their time with not just Atlassian services, but other services and development in general. So we decided to change it, and now we have like a specialized team that work specific for Atlassian product and services. Another interesting thing that, in my opinion, helped us a lot is we've been creating a lot of content in Portuguese. And we know that Atlassian investing in order to have more and more material in English, in other languages, Portuguese also. But we believe that we can help in this area a lot. And we have a lot of benefits around that. Because, in fact, when we have, for example, here we have an example of our blog. We've been blogging a lot. We have a kind of internal prize for the internal people that create blog posts with more hits. That's something that stimulates our team to create more and more material in Portuguese. Sometimes we translate some posts that we have in the Atlassian blog, and we create this material in Portuguese. I think it's really good for Brazilian people to have contact with interesting material. And we have here our hot site that present our services and some information about the products. And it's something that a lot of clients came to us because of this kind of contact with our material. We're trying to have more and more present in social media also. And we have here like Twitter, slide sharing, YouTube. And we have some videos here in Portuguese for every Atlassian product. And we have also some material in English that we put some subtitles. And for example, when Todd goes to Brazil, we tend to record him and put some subtitles and put this material in our YouTube area. It's something that also we are trying to take advantage is this kind of presence that we have from the partner team. When we have there in Brazil, Todd, or now Taulin, we try to take advantage of it. We've been visiting several clients with them. We try to create some events that and invite other partners and other users to be to have this kind of contact with them. And we believe that this kind of message that Atlassian is close to us, is close to Brazilian market, it's really important and help us a lot to develop our business in Brazil. Just as a curiosity, we have anyone more here from South America? No? I think it's just Mateo and me. And, in fact, because of it is important for us. When we can have or see a lot of material here about other areas like Europe, Australia also, and America, here US. We can have a lot of involvement that Atlassian have with this kind of market. And in South America, we have it also. But in fact, it's our, I think it's our job as a partner in order to give this message, spread the Atlassian message to this market and say, oh, this guy is really close to here. And it's a fact, because we've been receiving a lot of visits of them. And when we have something important around, like an important event that we are trying to support, Atlassian is there with us. That's really helpful. And if I can give you a kind of advice, take advantage of this kind of free consultants that we have from Atlassian and the partner group. That for us, it's really, really important in Brazil. We are trying to create more and more material, not just about the products, but how to use these products for different areas. And now here I have just some examples like timesheet, process management, agile, idea management, collaboration, Jira as a platform. We've been creating this kind of content not just about the product itself, but more about how we can use the products in order to solve a business problem. And I think that it's really important for the client when they are expecting to use a product for some kind of, for solve a specific problem, when they can find material and other cases that that the other companies use the products to solve the same problem. So we've been investing around that a lot. And other thing that for us it's again really important is spread the word. So we have some photos here, and we've been in fact in contact and organizing the Atlassian user group in Brazil. Now we are changing this this approach in order to encourage more and more users to hold the user group, Atlassian user groups. For us, it's really important. And at the beginning, it's a little bit, I and the core people in general was a little bit worried about to have contact with more and more partners. Because we start, okay, now we are investing in this kind of market for long, and now we have more 2 or 3 or 4 partners, and oh, is it a kind of bad thing for us? And along the time, we realized that it's really important for us to have more people in this marketing, working in order to spread the word. Now we are trying to share some kind of the cost for some events and some campaigns with them. And as much as Atlassian have the name known in Brazil, we believe that we will have more and more business for all of us. So I think that's really important. And it's just some examples of events. We have some pictures here. And we are trying to have some speeches in important events, like the Brazilian Knowledge Management event that we had opportunity to have Todd speaking there. And for us was a kind of really interesting event. We've been talking in some universities when we have a chance also. And for us, it's really interesting because at the beginning of this process, when we have a chance to go for a, I don't know, kind of 50 people in an event, we ask, oh, how much, or how many of you heard about Atlassian? And we could see just 2, 3 people. And now we can see more and more people saying that they know about Atlassian products. And as much people you have knowing Atlassian products, we will have more and more people buying license and more services. So I think it's something that would be helpful for Atlassian in the long run and for a core in the long run also. And we can see these results in our sales. And now we are working this kind of 3 activities here. We have just start to sell services and products in our American subsidiaries. So Mateo is here. He's in charge of this operation. So the office here is working around that. And we have just opened the office in São Paulo also. That would be important for us to be more close to the different area that we've been in touch with. But now we'll be more closer to them. And now we start to create this kind of package. We're trying to, because we have like in the past, we provide Atlassian services and in several areas. Now we're trying to create packages. Like, okay, we have in different situations of the customers, like decision, plan, getting started, training, support. So we have specific services for this phase that the client has with the Atlassian products. So we're trying to help them with specific packages that, in our opinion, it's easier to the customers to buy and help themselves. So I think it's pretty much it. It was a pleasure to me to share this information to you. And if you have any question that perhaps I can answer, it would be a pleasure.
Should we do it together?
Yeah, why don't you give your speech and then we'll give shared questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Open company, no bullshit. It's very difficult to, it's easy to have values, and it's very difficult to live up to them. And when Todd called me and said, Martin, you shall tell us something. And I went to, actually, in our company, I'm kind of the Mercedes star of the car. Do you know Mercedes like 10 or 15 years ago? They had this star up front, and I and my friends were ripping them off. And so you saw like a lot of Mercedeses without the star, and they worked just fine. So that's the same for me. And I'm the Mercedes star of our company. And so I went to a guy who knows how to think and asked him, look, Todd asked me if I would share what we can share for other partners. How do you sell licenses? How do you attract new clients? And he said, oh, that's easy. We have values. Open company, no bullshit. That's not our value, but we want to live up with transparency. There's David Maister telling you, be generous with your knowledge. You've got plenty of it. And so that's what we live up. So my goal for this presentation is not to tell you any bullshit, to help you attract new clients, to help you sell more, and to help you share what is successful for us. And at first I thought, oh, why should I share? Because there's Pixton, they're big in Germany, so if they know better what we do to be successful, we might be less successful. And it's just the wrong way of thinking, in my opinion. And yeah, so this is my big goal. Can I do that? We get like 150 info requests per month. This is 5 info requests or leads per day, even on Saturdays and Sundays, all Atlassian stuff. We've sold, I think in the last 12 months, about 300 or 350,000 licenses for Atlassian, just the Atlassian licenses. And yeah, I hope I can help you understand how we did that and how that can work out. And yeah, I also have these slides about Cyber Media, but I'm going to try to be fast with that. Actually, I find out that I've forgotten to do my watch, so I don't speak too long. We have 6 employees. We're located in Wiesbaden in Germany, near Frankfurt. We're an Atlassian partner since 2009. I've been in business since 1996, but only back then, I don't know, that just changed. Our business for us changed when we started to work with Atlassian. And we have a couple of small and big customers. Most of those here are Atlassian-focused business. 30% of DAX 50, this is the biggest publicly traded companies work with us in Germany. Yeah, and there are just some logos. What we offer is all sorts of workshops. That's kind of sales efforts. We never give away free services. Everything that any customer does with CyberMe is paid. There's no free services at all. So all sorts of workshops that we sell. A lot of design customization. We have cool designers, good front-end developers, and this is just like so big because it's a lot of turnover we create with that. Custom programming. Also for partners. There's partners in Germany and other countries that work with us. Yeah, and so we're doing an average of 30 to 90K license sales per month. It's growing rapidly. So the last number I know is for March, it was over 100K that we sold. Not only Atlassian, but also plugins. Up to 20% of the sales we have are plugins. And that's a big problem for me because when a customer asks me, what shall I budget for these licenses? And then I say, you have, or you should double the license for Atlassian because there are cool plugins that you want to buy, but they actually only buy like 20%. So if I sell 5K, I'll only sell 6K including the plugins, but I should sell 10K. And that's the problem that we all have. Why don't the people buy your plugins? As they are so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not for. We have to think about that and change that because it's just a problem. So what goals do we have? There's Atlassian, there's the partners, and there's Cyber Media. I'm here, so I can share my goals. Atlassian's needs is they want us to help those who don't get it or who don't want to get it. They're those people who have these tons of money and they don't want to think. They could do it all for themselves, and they have the brains, and they're, oh, I'm so lazy. So let's get in a partner. Or they try harder, but they don't get it. And that's where we come in. And that's where they can come in because that doesn't scale. That you need people who explain to those who don't get it. And it's an endless opportunity, in my opinion. I'll give all my business to Pix, and we still have a lot of opportunities. And that's where we should focus on to help understand ourselves. How can we help them to get it? If you see this Atlassian University thing today, I thought, oh, shit. Everybody will get how to learn these tools. What am I going to do? Where does all my workshop turnover go? And it's just the wrong way of thinking. It's just like, oh, how cool. I can sell more. I can offer them to understand all the cool plugins or whatever. They still won't get it. It's still going to be very complex, and it's going to be more complex in the future. So what is very important for me, we get a cool margin of 25%. That's for us, 15% for others. And actually, you can calculate easily what Cyber Media made on selling licenses. And if we don't make use in a wise way, they're just going to turn down that. So if we are going to start like, sorry that I'm using you, if we're going to start like betting about, oh, you're going to rebate like this, and oh, so I'm going to put something more on that, they're just going to say, oh, if the margin is only going to the customer as a reduction, then let's just kick that. So be very explicit and know what you're doing with your margin. First of all, it's going to give you money, and the other way, it's going to be very problematic for us if we don't work for that. And then next thing, what we should know about Atlassian is they want turnover from us. Do whatever, it's so cool what they all present here, but what our task is to sell their licenses. It's not our task to tell them what they can do for us to do more turnover. We have to make them successful. That's why they are working with us. And whatever you think, this is their goal. They want to have more turnover. And 20% is the share we reach at the moment. And we should head for like 30, 50, 70% of their turnover. And that's how the business goes there, in my opinion. Then your needs, how to attract new clients. That's something that I am thinking of a lot of times. How do I find resellers for my plugins and services? How can I be visible in Germany? That's something that I want to answer for you. And how can I learn from what others do good? So this is what I try to convey here. And then I have my own goals, like I want to sell more licenses, and I want to sell more of your plugins. And I want to get more and better marketing support from, especially the marketing developers. So you have good content, but you don't get it into the German market. And why don't we do that? So I have an editorial team of 4 people who are doing blog posts and all these things. They could be translating all your blog posts. Why aren't we doing that? And that's just something that I want to convey. And I want to have you on a live session with me. And yeah. Okay, so how are we doing all this? Actually, the first thing that you have to make sure is that you understand when they tell you like 64,000 people, companies are using us, 5 million. We're thinking, oh, cool. But it sounds like animals. It sounds like the sheep that are out there. Just get them all. These are people. These are smart people. And when we try to sell something to them, we have to understand that they understand that we are just an add-on, that is fully optional. We are fully optional. If we don't sell something that is valuable, we're just going to be kicked out. And so I don't have a magic recipe to get hundreds or thousands of sheep. And it's non-existent. What you have to do is you have to hustle. You have to work out hard. And if you don't, it's going to be very problematic to get a lot of leads. You can't just put 10,000 euros in Google AdWords and hope for leads. You can't just blog away and be very successful. You have to do all this stuff. And actually, this is an invitation to talk to me. I'm going to share everything we do. I'm going to explain what we did wrong and how we did that. My time will not allow you to show you our website or weblog or how we track social media with 20 feet, how we do our public wiki, microblog, live chats, and so on. It's just going to be too time-consuming to do that. But there's a story behind each of these words, and I'm going to be happily sharing that with you. If you want, just talk to me, and I will tell you what we do in AdWords and how we spend 15K for nothing. It's awful. It's awful. You do so many errors there, and we're still far away from perfect. So, yeah, talk to me or ask me questions if we have time right now. And then one thing that I want to get across is don't donate any services apart from for a good cause. There was this discussion about donating services. Cool, do it. But if there is a multi-billion company that is asking you for a workshop to get to know you, this has to cost money. And it's especially for the German partners. It doesn't pay off. You only get like 5 or 10K in a project. And if you invest like 2K into this, it's never going to pay off. The projects are too small. We're not selling like 250K projects. At least we don't. Maybe you do. But it's just like 5K. And if you're going to put 20% in sales, it's never ever going to pay off. So, and the good news is they do pay. They do that. And whenever we had a pitch in the last month, and there was another partner that did that for free, we were paid. And they actually do pay for good work. And so just try that. And it's a whole lot different if you have a product. If you have a product, you have a lot of value and renewals and all these things that you don't have to work for. But we are there. We are on a one-on-one phase, and that's going to cost your time, and you're not going to get it back. Yeah, it's just something. Think about that. It has helped us a lot to do more marketing and to do less of this crappy, free consulting. So what it takes to do that is, first of all, the guts to say no. Yeah, but we are BASF. We are one of the biggest companies in Germany. So you've got to come across and show us what you can do. No, we don't. You have to pay for that. So we're going to turn you down and talk to somebody else. Yeah, do that. 2 days later, they ordered the workshop. They do pay for that. And the readiness to share everything, the readiness to share what makes you successful. Remember David Maister. Be generous with your knowledge. You've got plenty of it. That's our business. If they don't get that we are cool at at helping them to understand, they won't ever pay us. So share what you know. You have to have the passion to hustle. People who don't want to have sweat under the ankles, that's going to be a tough life for you. You have to sweat. You have to be entertainment for zero. I'm doing live sessions and there's no one watching. That sucks. Your time is worth money, so we're only billing based on time and material. And actually, we have an editorial team, like people who can do work. We heard that from you, that you have like dedicated people, and I would share that. Make Atlassian a real part of your business, not just like this side way that can also give me some money somewhere, sometime, but a distinct effort that you invest in and that you work with. Okay. So much from me. Thanks. I would.
Well, so much for me giving the best speech. So any questions for Martin or Vinicius? Anyone?
You say that you get involved or run user groups and that you go out and get involved in the community. How do you track your return on investment?
In fact,
I'm fast.
Okay.
We don't.
in fact, we try to see how many business and how much we can get in this kind of events in a long run. Because sometimes, for example, we start to have a contact with a customer in a user group in a year, and we start to have business with this customer just next year. But in fact, we try to track it and try to get best results in our conversions. But in fact, the user group for us is more like a way to spread the word and not a kind of directly sales tool. And when we participate, we try just to have contact and to give more information. And we believe that in the long run, it would be good for us.
So you don't either. Actually, for the results, for me, that's a cool ROI. We get a lot of leads. A lot of those are very good leads from big companies who have the money to buy our services. So I say that's worthwhile. I can be the Mercedes star just focusing on Atlassian stuff, and it's paying off because we do a lot of turnover. If you ask me, is the AdWords cost worthwhile? Is the live sessions where I'm sitting and nobody's watching, is that worthwhile? I don't know, and I don't see any way to calculate that. And it's just like you add up on things that you personally think, not the sheep, but the smart guys out there will love and take, and eventually they come. And that's the way I would recommend to calculate an ROI. Just don't do one thing and ask what did it get me, but do as much as you can for 12 months and then put a line under that and see if that happens. And I have made the experience that there's a lot of instant gratification where you can see, oh, that works out. And you do it again, and then it doesn't help at all, but at least you see there's coming back something.
David.
Could you share with us what your policy is on pricing Atlassian licenses, and specifically whether you offer a discount to customers? And then the second question is, what commitment do you have to those license recipients in terms of follow-up? Do you make any commitments to them over the next year?
Shall I start this one? Okay, it's very straightforward. I've learned a lot from Atlassian. First thing is be plain and open. And what we do is we don't give any discounts apart from what we offer initially. And what we offer initially is 10% in sales, in services. Meaning that you buy the license with us, and I'm going to give you 10% of the license that you buy in services. So you don't get any euro discount, but you get 10% of licenses. And then we've set up a MailChimp autoresponder campaign that will track those who, whenever you buy a license with us, you're going to get these two silly Atlassian Kitty emails that don't work out at all, and they are, in my opinion, better for Atlassian than for the partners. But we have our own kind of Atlassian Kitty autoresponders with MailChimp, and it's like 12 emails, one right after the sale, one 3 months later, one 6 months later, one 9 months, then when the renewal is due, and so on. So people get these, and that's working out quite good for the renewals. And we don't give, and if people come and, there's this other partner, and he gives me 12% out of this license, and we say, okay, go there. It's just like, as soon as we start that, they're going to just cut the margin. And that's not a good game for either of us.
So we have almost the same. I think we don't provide a discount license, but we do provide some discounts in services. And there is no kind of regular rule around that, but it's according to the client. In fact, in this area, we work a little bit different. If you told us, in fact, sometimes we provide some kind of consultancy, initial consultancy for free, because we can see some potential in this client. And in fact, I don't think that's a problem. In fact, for us, in a long run, again, it can be worth it, because for the client, sometimes they're not secure enough with the product. And they ask us for provide a little bit more information and provide a little bit more, some kind of areas that the product can help them. And sometimes we provide a kind of really inexpensive service, or sometimes the service for free in order to check at the beginning. And but in license we don't provide discounts.
Any other questions out there for you guys? Okay. Oh, Donald, you have a question?
It's just a comment about what you said about selling the plugins and other plugins. What I've encountered is that customers sometimes want to buy a plugin from site to site, just because going to 6 sites with different plugins is 6 experiences, let alone Atlassian, and understanding the licenses. And I'm sure you've encountered this. It's very time consuming. It's challenging for the customer, and us as partners coming together on our licensing and pricing, or some kind of strategy, maybe not everyone, but people getting aligned on that also with Atlassian. I'm hoping Daniel Franz is going to be in this, because this is, I think, one of the biggest hurdles on increasing sales with Atlassian software.
Okay.
It's not just Atlassian. It's, if our plugins are successful, Atlassian goes up. It's directly related.
Any other questions, comments? No? Oh.
How do you cope with public needs, where you're requested to provide an offer for a license, and there is a bidding? I mean, several companies from the country are offering the best price for license. How do you cope with that?
Actually, for us, it's I try to approach such things in a systematic way, and in a systematic way, you can't win any money in selling licenses. That's not a. Those of you who do that know how much efforts go into administration and people who pay late. We all are in only following a certain rule that we have found to be good and true. The better we'll be off all. And in an individual situation, you'll be much better if you just say, cool, this is 20K of licenses. This is going to be mean 25% for me, so I'm going to give you 1% more. And in this specific situation, you always will want to give this 1% more. And as it said, it takes the guts to say no, because in the long run, you'll be screwed.
Okay, we don't want that. Anyone have questions or comments? Okay. All right, thank you. first Partner Day. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. It's really been great to host all of you. Speaking of hosting, don't forget in your packets there's information for you on the key ring on who your host is here at the summit. So if you have any questions, you can always call that number that's on there. Also, I'd like to, I thank the speakers. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to speak today as well. A couple of other things. We have a partner lounge that's available to you on Tuesday and Wednesday upstairs in the Fremont room. You'll see the banners that are outside this door in front of the partner lounge. That's where you can go and chat with other partners, or just go in there and hang out if you want to get them in with the, sit down and catch your breath or whatever. So that's available to you. There's some other things I think I'm forgetting that I want to make sure I talk about. Oh, of course, the partner party. That's Wednesday night, so don't forget about the partner party. There's a map in your host packet, in your welcome packet, that shows you where the location of the restaurant is. It's called Pago's Cantina, and we'll be going down there after Summit on Wednesday. And one last thing. We're buying first round of drinks at this bar across the street called the Chieftain. So meet us over at the Chieftain, and then the first round's on us. All right. So thank you all for participating.
Can't believe that worked out.